Gold revaluation. The answer to the U.S. debt crisis or just fool's gold. The golden fix. Too good to be true? The United States is sitting on a mountain of gold. Literally. With over 8,000 metric tons of the stuff locked away in Fort Knox and other reserves, it's the largest official gold hoard in the world. And in a time when the U.S. national debt is skyrocketing past $34 trillion, some are suggesting it's time to pull a financial Hail Mary, revaluing gold to help offset the debt. Sounds genius, right? The idea is simple. Drastically increase the official price of gold, say from around $2,000 an ounce to $10,000, $20,000, or even higher. Suddenly, that stockpile of gold would be worth far more, potentially wiping out massive chunks of the national debt overnight. It's almost like finding a treasure chest in your basement right when the mortgage bill is due. Some analysts and gold bugs argue that this could be the economic reset button we've been waiting for, a return to hard assets in a world drowning in fiat currency and reckless spending. With inflation creeping up and global trust in the U.S. dollar wavering, could revaluing gold be the ultimate power move? Or is this just another desperate scheme that looks good on paper but crumbles in reality? Let's dig in. The case for revaluing gold. If you've been paying attention, you know the U.S. government has a spending problem. The debt ceiling keeps rising, inflation eats away at purchasing power, and confidence in the dollar isn't what it used to be. Enter gold, a real, tangible asset that's been a store of value for thousands of years. Unlike paper money, gold doesn't lose its shine. So, how does gold revaluation work? Simple. If the government sets a new, higher price for gold, the U.S. Treasury's reserves suddenly become far more valuable. At $10,000 an ounce, that 8,000-ton gold reserve could be worth nearly $26 trillion. That's more than half the national debt erased with the stroke of a pen. Not bad for something that just sits in a vault gathering dust. Supporters argue that this move could strengthen the U.S. dollar by backing it with real assets instead of blind faith in government promises. Provide economic stability in a world where central banks are playing fast and loose with money printing. Reduce debt burdens without the need for painful tax hikes or spending cuts. Because, let's be real, neither of those are politically popular. Plus, revaluing gold could act as a global financial reset, forcing other nations to rethink their economic strategies. If the U.S. made this move, other countries sitting on large gold reserves, think China and Russia, might follow suit, leading to a more asset-backed financial system rather than one based on ever-growing IOUs. Sounds like a golden opportunity, right? Well, not so fast. The case against revaluing gold. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And this idea of solving a multi-trillion-dollar debt crisis by waving a golden magic wand has more than a few red flags. For starters, who exactly is going to buy this newly revalued gold? Just because the government says gold is worth $10,000 or $20,000 an ounce doesn't mean the market will agree. If demand doesn't match the artificially high price, this plan collapses faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. Then there's inflation, ironically the very thing this plan is supposed to combat. Revaluing gold at extreme levels would send shockwaves through the economy. If gold prices skyrocketed, it could erode confidence in the dollar, leading to price instability. Imagine what would happen to the cost of goods, investments, and global trade if the financial world suddenly had to recalibrate around a government-mandated gold price. And let's not forget the government itself. If history has taught us anything, it's that Uncle Sam isn't exactly known for sticking to a gold standard. The U.S. has abandoned gold backing before, twice, actually. First in 1933 under FDR, when private gold ownership was outlawed, and then in 1971, when Nixon cut the last ties between gold and the dollar. Would a government that has repeatedly rejected gold backing suddenly embrace it? Call me skeptical. Lastly, there's the international reaction. The U.S. forcing a gold revaluation could create chaos in global markets, spark trade wars, or lead to other central banks retaliating with their own financial maneuvers. What happens if China, holding trillions in U.S. debt, decides to demand payment in this newly valued gold? Not exactly a winning scenario. So, while the idea of using gold to fix America's debt problem might sound brilliant. In practice, it could be a logistical and economic disaster. The golden takeaway: revaluing gold to solve the debt crisis is one of those ideas that sounds incredible at first glance, but starts to unravel under scrutiny. Yes, gold is a historically trusted asset, and yes, the U.S. has a serious debt problem. But trying to artificially inflate gold's value to make debt disappear might be wishful thinking. While the idea of a gold-backed reset appeals to those wary of the current financial system, the risks, market rejection, inflation, and global instability make this a gamble with high stakes. In the end, the real question isn't just can the U.S. revalue gold, but should it? And if history tells us anything, it's that when governments meddle with money, things rarely go as planned. Please and thank you. Thanks for watching.